Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV. We're sorry for the lateness, but we are live for a match preview to Arsenal versus Fulham at the Emirates.
Balotelli, Aguero! Premier League champions 2016, Leicester City!
Hope to see you soon. Well done. Bye bye.
Fisher, Cazorla, Giroud again, Joe Wilson! Here's Gerrard. That's a great strike! McCracken getting closer. Centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the match preview to Arsenal's game against Fulham at the Emirates. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. This is going to be an in-depth look at weekend's game, late kickoff, so it'll be on TV. So, which is quite nice. And all the games of Arsenal been on TV. It's like they know something at the minute. But there you go. We got Emilio, right? It's been 18 months, but he's back, right? He's back in the Premier League. And he's more importantly, stuff being back in the Premier League. He's back on SFeatleyTV. How you doing?
Thanks, Stephen. Good to be back on the show. Yeah, it seems only like yesterday we were doing a preview show against a corresponding game 2 years ago. I think you nicked a goal right in injury time, added time. I think we were going to come away with a.
I think it was after we got knocked out of the Europa League, and I was still fuming over the fact that the manager was still there. So
if we played a bit more games and shit towards the end, we would have just held the ball, put it in the corner, and just closed out the game. Instead, we lost possession, and you nicked a late winner. But looking forward to another season.
You sure there was that? So I thought we drew against Fulham at the Emirates.
Yeah.
To draw, and then we had the European Super League, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah, because it was a back end.
Yeah. Sorry. That was before we got knocked out in Europa League.
Yeah.
My bad. Right. So obviously,
different season, different manager, different expectations. Maybe compared to 2 years ago. I think it's still got to be a tough.
And luckily, we're still supporting our football clubs because, I was thinking of quitting my football club by the end of the day.
Look at you guys are running, top of the table, 100% record. You must be happy with your start to the season.
Yeah. Let's calm down for a minute. It was only 3 games yet. Let's go. Take it one game at a time. Manny, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Had a rather busy day today. Had to go out here and there, and it's good to see that you've calmed down as well. Amelia, wonderful to see you. It was interesting because, in that game where Nketiah scored that equaliser, he wouldn't have had a chance of getting that if it hadn't have been for Matt Ryan's semi-assist, if you will.
Yeah.
And had he played at the Europa League final instead of the now Fulham keeper, the result, I'd like to think the result would have been a lot more different, seriously. Leno had a horrible season.
Also, before I went live, I just caught the fact that Jez went live with Lee Moorside and Kenny Ken. So if you want to go over there and show him, make sure you also go over there and give him support by subscribing to the channel and doing whatever to give him support, especially with what's happened to Jez. And Jez, I know your response for the super chat I put in. I know you told me not to donate anything to your channel because you give it straight back. I know that, right? But I just felt I had to because you're you're a dear friend, so I thought I had to just this is it for something like this. I just thought I had to put a donation in. So that if you want to give it back, give it back. But honestly, you don't have to. I'm happy to spend that money in that. Like, and to be fair, like we've made another £60 we've made another £60 on the charity because the YouTube finally have paid us after about 3-4 months. So that's another £60 to go to the charity. So but anyway, like I said, I thought I had to put that donation in, so that's why I did. So yeah, you don't have to give it back. You really don't. But yeah, moving on. Game, right? So I'm gonna start with Fulham first. We'll start with the guests. 3 games in, you've drawn against Liverpool in your opening day, and you were unlucky even to draw that game. To be fair, you could have won that game. To be fair,
Yeah.
then obviously I think did you play? Was it Brentford? The second game in?
Yeah, Wolves away. We got
No, Wolves. Was
a
it?
decent draw, but missed penalty late on. So
So 2 draws and a win.
yeah. So yeah,
So undefeated right now. So I'm sure you're very happy with the start of your season.
yeah, absolutely. I think there's no easy game in the Premier League. It's good to be back. And the Liverpool game, you're right. I think I was travelling that day. I was travelling abroad, so I couldn't actually go to the ground. But I was watching the game at the airport, and I thought, disappointed we didn't come away with 3 points. Twice going ahead. Mitrovic gave Van Dijk a lot of problems. Defensively at Liverpool. I know they've not had the best of starts, but I thought on another day, we might have got 3 points from that game. But we take points at home to Liverpool against arguably one of the best teams in Europe. Then Wolves away, and there were moments in that game. We missed a penalty with 10 minutes to go, so again disappointed not to come away with 3 points. Mitrovic's record on penalties isn't particularly great, so the fact that he didn't seem confident when he took that penalty and missed it. So okay, another credible point. On reflections, 2 points dropped, and then Brentford on Saturday, very good, entertaining game. It was good advert and spectacle for the Premier League for neutral fans. I thought it was a very open game, end to end, good attacking football, 5 goals, and to score. Well, we scored after about 40 odd seconds, and then I think deservedly scored right at the death in the 90th minute to win the game. And I think like you said, I'll take 5 points out of 9. They're 3 tough games, and we've got now 4 tough games coming up. So there's no easy game in this division, unfortunately.
Exactly, mate. Like if I was a Fulham fan, I'll be really bored by the start of the season. I know it's obviously probably tough, even tougher test to come for this season. But I think like you've done incredibly well already. I mean, Manny, what do you make of Fulham's start to their season before I carry on with my thoughts?
They've really, really impressed me, Stephen. I actually saw the whole Fulham Liverpool game. I remember being on a watch along with Stephen Stubbs, otherwise known as Statman Stubbs. Shout out to him. And Fulham were very good value. I do seem to remember that late on in the game, I think Liverpool did throw the kitchen sink at Fulham, and Henderson did have a shot which saw Rodak being beaten, but then just cannoned off the bar. So it was a very entertaining game, and it was further proof that Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold have had big problems this season, and they were ruthlessly exhibited when Liverpool played United at Old Trafford. And I think TAA needs to be dropped. I'd like to see Gomez brought in, and then Van Dijk also might need to be rested. But Fulham definitely look good, and certainly what augurs well is that apart from Mitrovic that day against Brentford, you had 2 other goal scorers. So if they can contribute, that would be quite good. It's I should of course mention that it might not be the best time in many ways to talk to a Fulham fan given what happened last night. I do apologise for that, sir.
Okay.
But this might actually serve to spur them on to greatness. Beware the wounded cottagers, if you will. And I certainly don't think that the players who started last night will have much of a role to play this time around.
No.
But they could definitely come off come off the bench. I mean, certainly you can't imagine a Fulham team without Tom Kearney playing a bit of a role. And I'd like to ask you what your thoughts are on Rodak being dropped after that game against Wolves, because he kept a clean sheet. Why would you suddenly drop him and pick Leno when I don't believe Rodak did too much wrong?
No, good question. I've been asked that by a number of fans and other sort of neutral people. And no, to be honest, I was actually surprised when I saw the lineup against Brentford on Saturday. But clearly, Rodak would have had the gentle word in his ear a few weeks ago. Obviously, Leno coming in, he was bought to start Fulham games. I know Rodak was probably man of the match against Wolves, kept us in the game at times. Against Liverpool, made a couple of good saves. Maybe the first goal he could have done a little bit better, but no disrespect to Rodak, Leno is an upgrade to him. I know Arsenal fans may have mixed views about Leno, but for us, he is an upgrade to Rodak. I said last season, if we get promoted, we need a goalkeeper to play the Premier League. So Silva's done the right thing. He's Leno was just about signed at the time he played Liverpool. Too early to embed him in. He's given him a couple of weeks to get fully fit, get some sort of practice in, and it's disappointing if you're on Rodak, but Rodak knows his score. He clearly knows he was not number one keeper. Leno was brought in to be ahead of him, and it was only a matter of time. And it's maybe the dynamics of how it happened, being dropped after being man of the match against brave on Silva, but Rodak will know clearly that he was not intended to be number one keeper this season. Now, if he wants to leave, that's his choice. That's why I got Gazzaniga, who's a backup keeper. Now, Rodak has expressed disappointment last season. If we get promoted, he doesn't want to be a backup keeper. So, I don't think he'll go, but there's still another week or so the transfer window. Don't be surprised if someone comes in for him with a bid and he ends up going for his own sake. But clearly, Leno I see as an upgrade to what we have there. So just unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, it's got to be quite ruthless here.
Interesting thought, and of course, it works out. I'll be quick, I promise you. It works out well for him because now he'll be coming back to the Emirates as a visiting player. He will certainly receive a standing ovation from the Arsenal fans who remember him for his professionalism. But I think when it comes to mixed feelings, a lot of Liverpool fans will probably feel that he had his chances to be an all-time, to really build on his impressive start and become an all-time great with us. But the 2020-21 season, he had his chances, but he fluffed most of them, and some of the goals he conceded were quite horrible. Many of us, including myself, were screaming for him to be replaced with Matt Ryan, who didn't put a foot wrong for us. So, having said that, he was a great professional in his last season. I think he will get a good one. Stephen?
Yeah, look. The thing with Leno is I always rated him as a shot stopper, but his distribution was shit. For me, it was poor. It was not good enough for what we wanted to do. Like every time he got the ball, it was like like a clown. Like when he's at his feet. But he was a decent shot stopper. Obviously Ramsdale's come in, and I'm sorry, like it's kind of like with Don Ramsdale. He had a couple of games he had a game against it in the Carabao Cup. Oh, he didn't do a lot in it, but he proved that he deserves a start in the Premier League. He played against Norwich, which was a good team to play against, to be fair. And he hasn't looked back since, right? And it's like you said, like that's like people saying it's like it's people saying it's ruthless. Need to get out more and actually understand football. This is football. This is elite sport. Elite sport is supposed to be ruthless, right? For example, I mean, I follow F1, for example, right? If you're not good enough, for example, I'll give you an example back of what an F1 will do. In 2019, right? In 2019, Gasly was at Red Bull. He was promoted to Red Bull from the junior team. That's in Formula One, but he wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough to be that second driver. So halfway through the season, right, when they came back after summer break, they dropped him. They put him back in the junior team, in the F1 junior team, and promoted another youngster from their academy that's in that team to the Red Bull C. Right, even though some of the performances he'd actually did decently in, right, he made too many mistakes, right, and it's the same with like say example there's also been times where some team, like some drivers, have hardly had a car that's good enough to even compete apart from beating their teammate, and yet they've been dropped after 6 races because they're permanently at the back, right, for example, and not trying to outperform the car. Basically what I'm saying is that's how ruthless elite sport is. If you can't deal with that, you shouldn't be in it. You're not fit to be in it. You ain't got the mentality to do it, to cope with it. So as much as like Leno's done decently at Arsenal, like he was not the answer for what we needed, and Ramsdale was. So there you go. Um, Paqueta going to West Ham. Yeah, I heard about that. I'll be really annoyed if he goes to West Ham, to be honest, because we should be looking at him right now. Fulham will be tough. Yes, it will be a tough test. Do you think Cedric Martinez was good business? To me, he looks vulnerable at Aston Villa. I think Martinez is still a quality keeper. Is still a quality keeper for me, but I don't think he would stand for being competing with Ramsdale. I think you can't have. They're both on a similar level. They're on a similar level, right? For me, so I feel that like you can only have one or the other. Right? You can't have two keepers at the same level because they're not going to stand for being like second keeper and sitting on a bench unless you're going to rotate him every single game, right? Which you can't do because the defense has to rely on their goalkeeper as well as the goalkeeper rely on the defense. So yeah, you can't possibly do that. Big up, Mel. I hope you're doing okay. Um, uh, Big up. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah. But I mean, look at Arsenal. Arsenal, like you said, Teddy, we're three games in. We're 2 points clear. We're the only club to have won all our games. I think the toughest test was Crystal Palace. I think this would be a tougher test than the other ones we played. Leicester are struggling at the minute, and Bournemouth. To be fair, they didn't pose much of a threat, especially without Solanke in there. But yeah, Mitrovic, Stansfield, they're going to be problem areas for Arsenal. Mitrovic is going to be a problem player, and how but I do feel, to me, it's depending on how Mitrovic has got. I think to have the game of his life going up against Saliba and Gabriel. So I think if Saliba and Gabriel are in top form, he could easily get isolated and silenced for me. Because Saliba is just on another planet right now. He's an absolute gem. It's why I said that he should have been back last season for me. Like, I don't think he needed the extra season in Marseille in the Champions League, but like he proved he can do it on the big stage in the Champions League. So that no wonder he's performing the way he is. I mean, Teddy, what do you make of like Arsenal's back four and like Mitrovic, and is how much of a problem is he going to be? Before I say it, Luke, do me a favour. Can you stop messaging me one on live, please? It really does not help. Because I'm trying to focus on this. I'll talk to you afterwards. Big up, Stephen and Manny. Do we need Tillmans in order to be top four contenders? I'll ask that in a minute. Answer that in a minute. Do keep your questions coming in. I will put a star next to them, so I'll come back to them absolutely. But yeah, Teddy, like I was saying, Mitrovic,
Yeah.
he can get the better with Saliba and Gabriel.
Look, I think Mitrovic is obviously been given the chance this season. 2 years ago, Parker didn't see him figuring in his plans, and he paid the price. We got relegated because Mitrovic wasn't given any game time. So his confidence is at a different level now. You know, put aside the fact that
That was a nail in the coffin for Scott Parker, to be fair.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, you've got your best man on the bench, and you're not even trying to find a way to embed him and fit him into your style of football. You were very stubborn. You paid the price. You know, we didn't concede many goals a couple of years ago. We weren't getting battered. Didn't score.
To be the feel is to me. Unlike Arsenal, you could probably do that with Aubameyang and get away with it, maybe for a sense, because it is Arsenal. We're not going to be afraid of getting relegated, or it might hinder our chance of getting top 4. But like, if it's going to further improve the team at long term, then as part of our plans, then fine, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you're playing, if you're trying to think, but if you're doing that in your Fulham, who need every single top player they need to stay in the league, you're really, really taking a huge gamble of being able to rely without that player. And I think that making that decision with Scott Parker, he should have been like, look, I need you for these games. Long term, I don't see a future for you here in my plans, but at the moment, you're all I've got. So can you do this for the fans and for me and for the club that have so far put their faith in you, right, and get us to safety, and then we'll get you a move that you want, or any club you want, get you a move. That's probably what he should have done. Like, whether he would have responded to that,
given the opportunity, unfortunately, and you know, now obviously we've moved on now, and I think, look, if his confidence is high, you know, he's hopefully proving critics wrong that he is capable of performing in this level. You know, if you give play to his strengths. We've changed our style of football this year, so we moved away from sort of passing from the back. Clearly, if we want to compete against the likes of the top 6 and other teams, we've got to change our style of football a little bit. So fair play to the manager to play a little bit more of a high press, longer style of football. You know, we're targeting Mitrovic more often. Against Brentford, same thing there. Straight for the kickoff, you know, we went forwards, we attacked rather than passing it sideways and backwards. Very direct. Played down the flanks, some nice passing. Pereira involved in that first goal, and you know, we went ahead after 40 odd seconds.
Do you count Brentford as like a bit of rivals? I mean, it's the first time as like you played them in the Premier League, and you haven't played them many times. I think in as a derby. But I'll just before you answer, Aubameyang, just how's he done? Surely Barcelona, Man City aren't playing a friendly during the season, are they? Wow. Because I was going to say, the Champions League ain't on yet. Leicester won 50 million for Tielemans. Actually, reminds me the draw for the Champions League Europa League. I might have to get a stream for that one in the afternoon. So that's going to be busy.
Play to Mitrovic's strengths. You know, I think he will probably cause more problems than the Bournemouth opposition, you know, you played against at the weekend. I think if we can keep it tight the first 25, 30 minutes, you know, don't give you much respect. There'll be I think it will potentially be quite an open game. We've got our defence will have to suck up a lot of pressure throughout the game, but you know, hopefully we'll give more of a fist than Bournemouth did at the weekend. And you know, if we get anything out of the game, it's a bonus. So I'll be happy with a point there, to be honest. But it's all about the performance. And not getting us confidence knocked for 6 if we lose heavily, because then we've got an important game against Brighton on Tuesday, which is clearly more winnable. So, no disrespect to Brighton fans, but you know, that's a big game, more of a winnable game. So, Arsenal bonus game, put up a fight, you know, play to your strength. You know, the Mitrovic will cause problems to your defence. You know, and you know they will have their hands full for 90 minutes. Let's not kid ourselves there.
Absolutely. I mean, Manny, what do you say?
Yeah, you know, it's easy to talk a lot about how, you know, Arsenal, Fulham will be trying to make sure they build their attack a bit around Mitrovic. And I'm actually going to get to the midfielders in the back 4 later on, because it's interesting to take a look at some of the lineups and the rosters from games this season. Quite a few of your players, Emilio, were actually a part of that Fulham campaign when you got relegated in 2021. I do seem to recognise a few names. I mean, Kenny Tete, Darabioyo, Harrison Reed, Tim Green was also pretty much a
Yeah.
part of it. So it seems to me as though when it comes to your starting 11, you have in some areas opted for continuity, especially with the likes of Tete and Ream and in the back four. How do you think that experience of relegation has shaped these boys? And do you think they're better prepared to rise to the challenge this time around?
Yeah, and to be honest, I still, I've said this many times to all our fans that the squad we had 2 years ago, I think, was good enough to stay up. There were some good signings there, some good discreet loan signings. I just don't think we had the right manager. To be honest, the manager didn't play to those individual strengths of those players. And if you look on paper, there was a good squad that we had there, good depth. We had Joachim Andersen, who's now striving at Crystal Palace. We had, Areola as a goalkeeper, who I think is better than Leno. To be honest, he's now at West Ham. Loftus-Cheek, I know he had an awful season for Fulham, but he's not a bad player overnight, to be honest. So didn't fit into our style of football and was atrocious for us. We had Lookman, who did well at Leicester last year. So to be honest, these are just some of the players who were in our squad a couple of years ago and weren't really getting a look in. Anguissa has gone to my Italian club Napoli permanently. Seri was out on loan. So to be honest, that squad had depth, but we had the wrong manager and playing the wrong style of football. But so you're right, some of those players are still playing for us now. But Tim Ream, he signed an extension more to give dressing room some confidence, and is a good motivator, a good man manager and captain. But his time will come. He's 35. He's not good enough to be playing week in, week out. So we've got a couple. We've got the guy from West Ham as well, who hopefully will. I know he had a poor game yesterday against Crawley, but he still needs to get sort of into regular football. He'll probably start to slot into that central defensive role. Tete is a good right back, and we've got Mbabu from Switzerland international to give us backup and rotation opportunity there at the back. So Paulinho we've signed from Portugal team, so he's slotted into our defensive midfield position very, very well. Leno will make his goalkeeper his own. He'll keep that jersey for a while longer. Pereira's so far so good from Man United. I know we picked up a couple of injuries as well. So to be honest, I think there's been some shrewd signings, but we're still 3 or 4 players short before the end of the transfer window. So I'd like to see a couple more, another striker to give backup. And I know Neil Maupay from Brighton is heavily linked. There's some heavy negotiations apparently in place there. Kluivert from Roma will add a bit more flair and quality in midfield. So he's on the verge, hopefully, of signing. But again, the owners are trying to negotiate here and trying to find the right balance and package, I guess, to bring him on board. And I still think we need another defender, another central midfielder, and probably another left back. So I'm being a bit greedy here, but the owners are clearly not trying to overspend, but making some shrewd acquisitions. But we've only got another week left. But we need another 3 signings, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Maupay and Leno reunion should be really epic, in my opinion. And, that back 4 will also be quite key in terms of trying to deal with the threat of Jesus and Martinelli, especially as you mentioned. I mean, Ream may be getting on, but he will certainly provide some know-how in that regard. And, so you certainly rebuilt. Of course, Scott Parker was your manager that season. He's now with Bournemouth, and they're not doing too well either. So history repeating itself. But with Silva, you seem to have someone who likes scrap, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for me, I think it's I'm not going to dwell on yesterday's performance in the cup. We played half a dozen young players, some 4 or 5 debutants. Disappointing that we didn't win, so we just give those fringe players an opportunity to get some game time. But there's enough quality there that we should be able to make a fist of it this season. Diop from West Ham, we paid reasonable bucks, about 15 million for him. We've got Shane Duffy from Brighton on loan for the season. He'll add some experience and strength. So again, there's some shrewd signings there, but it's all about games. They need to adjust. They need to find their feet, and it's about having enough depth there. For me, it's all about the right depth in the squad. 5 substitutes is going to be quite key this season, and we need to make sure there's enough depth there to A, in case there's injuries, and B, that we can start to rotate in some games. That's why the cup game yesterday, less priority. It's all about staying in the Premier League, and obviously the guys are now focusing on the game on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a big game.
Exactly. I mean, that's the main focus, isn't it? Staying in the league for you guys, and then maybe push on from there. I had a laugh today. Someone said, Mitchell, yeah, Mitchell got to stop. Exactly, he is a problem player. Um, no one is better than Thierry Henry. Facts. Sorry, that's facts. You need to play across the ball, FC, when you have Mitrovic in your team. Do you agree with that, Amelia?
Thank you very much.
Do you agree with that? You should play across the ball, FC.
Yeah, I think so. I think we know the first 3 games. Clearly, we're playing a much longer game. We're playing to his strengths. So play the ball long. We're playing with a bit more intensity, especially in the final third of the pitch. We're stretching defenses. Again, Wolves don't concede many goals. Liverpool, are a quality team globally, and Brentford, are no mugs as well. And Brentford comfortably stayed in the Premier League last year and have got a very good attacking threat, but their weaknesses are in defence. And then the manager, all credit, put pressure on the defence. We played with that intensity, and we got our just rewards, and that's why against Arsenal, we've keep it, be direct, keep ball, we won't necessarily keep ball, but also trying to play that long ball to your big man, and so invite other players. You've got Pereira, Bobby Reed. We've got some decent players there who can feed off Mitrovic, but it's all about being patient and waiting for that moment. So we will get opportunities. That's not, question is whether we can
Oh yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
score down before we start to create opportunities. And if we can keep it tight for the first 20, 30 minutes and not concede, then Arsenal fans, will start to get a little bit nervous. That will favour us. But if you get an early goal, then that could change clearly change the dynamics of the game very quickly. So that, for me, avoid what Bournemouth did. You scored 2 early goals, game over.
Exactly, exactly. So we need to bear that in mind going forward, because it's not going to be easy. Like I said, big up Connor. Connor, man, where have you been, mate? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Still supporting Queens Park Rangers. Unfortunately. I don't think. I'm sure Emilio, you can't really say that since you bought their stadium once upon a time. So, like, but yeah, that was funny because when I was a kid, like I always thought Loftus Road was Fulham's actual stadium. So, like, until I realised it's not. Until you move back into Craven Cottage, the ignorance of youth. But there you go. Look, I'm fully confident that Arsenal can get through the test that Fulham are going to pose. It is going, I think, going to be one of our toughest tests. Most of your squad. The thing with I'm not saying Crystal Palace was not a tough test. It was a test being away to Crystal Palace, but they had a fair players out. Mateta was missing. There were other players that were missing in that game. If I'm not mistaken, Crystal Palace. If I go to their last game, if I go to their game against this, they had to play Schlupp and Doucouré in there. Schlupp's not a starter. Anderson, Guehi. Like, I don't think that's just like a starter for them. Like, uh, and yeah. So as much as they had Eze, Edouard, and Zaha, their midfield, it was easy for us to take over because they didn't have the midfield that they usually have. Um, you can see the hashtag. Oh, if you don't know what's happened to Jez is that he's been uh, he was attacked by 2 thugs, not Arsenal fans. They're thugs, right? Because Arsenal fans are supporters of a club that are built on class, and they have no class, so they're not Arsenal fans. But yeah, they attacked him on the way back from an evening out with the missus, where they punched his wife in the eye, giving her a black eye. They slashed Jez. I don't know how many times, but they slashed him with a knife across his face, which required a couple of stitches, and it meant that he. And it was all because they disagreed with his opinion on Arteta. Because they see him on here giving his opinion, they don't believe in Arteta. Right, same as the same opinion that I have, Northside, Manny probably has, Static, Lee, Kenny Ken, right, Gracie May, Delboy, many other YouTubers and people that come on here have that about the manager that they don't believe in, and they come up and attack them. Right, I don't care if you're in or out. If you're Arteta out and you have an attack on someone who's Arteta in, I'm not gonna sit here and applaud you because you're Arteta out, the same as me. I'm gonna fucking disown you. Like, it's disgusting. No matter who you are, you don't attack anyone or verbally attack anyone. You don't. If it's discriminating, you don't have the comment. You don't like I had. I disagreed completely with someone's comment saying it was stupid. Right, their comment was absolutely stupid because it wasn't factually correct. So I called it stupid, and that's what I call comments that are factually incorrect. Stupid. That's what I call them, stupid. And he gave me a homophobic comment in return uh, because I have a different opinion and I don't back the manager and I don't back certain players. Right? And it's sad that two people who think they've got the common cheek and the common right to have a go at an elderly man, right, an elderly woman. Well, I don't like to say that much, right, to be fair, but he is in law an elderly man, an elderly woman who have been attacked. Right, one, the missus got nothing to do with it, and two, the fact that right, he's been watching Arsenal before they were even a twitch in their dad's underpants, or even before their dad and their mum even considered getting to, even knew each other and considered having kids. Right, like like you don't. I'm sorry, it's don't condone it. I don't like. Right, what I accept is people coming on here who could disagree with my opinion. You could come in here and say you're wrong. I believe Arteta's going to do this. I believe he's going to do that, but not be abusive. Not come on here and abusive, and also then threaten or even go outside and attack me. Right? If I get attacked because of the same opinion, I'm dead because I can't. If they cause the injury that will need surgery, I'm dead. I can't do surgery anymore. Right? That's how serious it is. Like, he was 2 centimeters lower, he would have got his neck. Like, it's wrong on all levels, and like, and again, it's over a game of football, and it's sad. Like, it's unlike the Arsenal gossip column where I had two Arteta in fans coming on the show when I was at Arteta out. Right, we weren't abusive, we weren't threatening people. We weren't going to go out and attack people. We sat there and had an honest, good show, good debate about Arsenal. Right? Disagreeing on certain points, agreeing with certain points. Right? But never, ever having always the respect of their opinion. Right? Simple as that. Right? And if you can't do that in a right in a society that is built on democracy and freedom of speech, well, I tell you what then, instead of going to jail, right, deport them to fucking North Korea. Deport them to fucking China. Where if you, or Russia, where if you say anything, you get taken away or arrested. Right? Where you can't have an opinion. You can't disagree on a certain politician. You can't disagree on a certain football team. You can't have an opinion. Because if you do, you get taken away and arrested. Those people need to go there. If they believe that's how that's how society should be, right? Then they need to go over there because that's not part of our society. They're not. And I hope the cops throw them in jail, throw away the key. Simple as that. And God help them when they get in there. Because when all the convicts in there find out that they've beaten up an elderly man and an elderly woman, Jesus fucking Christ, God fucking help them. They're gonna realise they never fucking did it. Like, simple as that. You want to attack, like, you don't want to attack anyone. Attack your fucking self. Like, honestly. Stephen Fact, 12, hit the like and subscribe. I've never attacked Arteta Moon fans. I destroy them with facts and debates. Exactly the truth as well. Good show, Stephen, and the panel. Yeah, sorry, I had to say that, but look, Teddy, going into this game, what do you think the lineup Marco Silva will go for?
From a Fulham perspective, I think. Look, I think we'll keep. Obviously, Lennon will start. I think we'll probably put him. I think we'll probably play Mbappe at the back. I think Tete had an okay game against Brentford, and in the second half he got stretched a little bit. But Mbappe came on and made a difference when he came. He's probably a better attacker versus Kete, probably a more safer defender. So against Arsenal, I think don't be surprised Mbappe will start the game. I know we've got to keep it tight to the back, and Tete I think is a more conservative defender, but Mbappe had a good game on Saturday against Brentford, and don't be surprised he starts. I'm still in two minds whether he'll drop Ream. I don't think Ream's done much wrong this season, but again, he's going to be stretched this week. So Diop didn't have a great game yesterday against Crawley. Maybe he might need another reserve game to get himself fully fit before he comes on board. So defensively, I worry. That's obviously my biggest concern. So I think Robinson will start at left back. I've seen someone ask me a question about Robinson. Yeah, I think he is steady. He's not spectacular. He's had actually in his defence a good start to the season. He's not done much wrong, but equally, still think we're short of cover in that position. And at the moment, that's his by default until we get someone else who's strong enough to push him for that place. So he'll start as left back, and then I think probably Riemann at Tosin will probably still play. So I think the back four, other than Tete, I think will remain pretty much unchanged. Palhinha will sit in front of them, and he's had a great start to the season. He scored a great goal from a corner last week. Harrison Reed, I think, will be there sort of in a more advanced midfield role, whilst we've got quite a few injuries to some of our wide players in particular. Bobby Reed he's quite versatile. He's not technically the best person in the world, but he keeps popping up with goals. He did that 2 years ago. He did it again against Brentford on Saturday. He sometimes finds himself in the right place at the right time, so I think he'll start for us. Pereira, again, a bit like Marmite. I think some people like him, some people won't. I think but he was man of the match against Brentford on Saturday. He was good at set pieces, was involved, got a lot of the ball. Maybe sometimes a bit too arrogant for his own good. Just keep it simple, do the simple passes, please, rather than trying to do the spectacular and give away possession. So there were moments when maybe he was a bit more selfish than I would have liked. And rather than taking a long-range shot, you've got attacking options, utilise them. So, but he's had a good start to the season, so he'll start. And maybe in Stansfield. Stansfield was given his debut in Premier League because Cabana was injured. I actually thought he had a good game. I thought he gave the Brentford defence some problems. He was stretching them. He's got to mature. He's got to have more games. Can he cope with his 2 games in a week? Is the Arsenal game 1 game too many for him? I don't know, but I don't think he did much wrong against Brentford. Looked lively, defended well, tracked back when he had to, and so he had a good 70 minutes under his belt. So again, he's an attacking option. We've been crying out for him to start more games in the Championship. Wasn't given the opportunity last year. Now push comes to shove, we haven't got much attacking options, which is why he played last week and didn't displace himself. I'd probably see Cabano's fit. We'll probably see Cabano starting against Arsenal instead of Stansfield. And clearly, if Mitrovic is injured or whatever, picks up a knock before then, I don't know who's gonna play in that attacking role. But overall, I should probably see a couple changes. Cabano coming back in, and probably Mbappe starting in place of Tete.
Okay. That's obviously a lineup we need to be careful of.
It's
I will just say with the chance.
Sorry.
Just say before we go to Arsenal, I would say with Arsenal's transfer window, I still say I would want a right back. I don't think Cedric is good enough. Tomiyasu might be decent as maybe decent as a defender, but going forward, he doesn't really go forward, and he's not really going to the byline as much. Right, if he does, so It doesn't help Saka, who needs to be by the byline or trying to cut the inverted, because doesn't go byline and goes inverted. Tomiyasu, it got sort of cuts across Saka's path and takes his position. So um, I would want to get him as keep Tomiyasu as a backup because also he's made of glass anyway, a bit like Tierney, and I would get in another right back for me. I know it's in the Arsenal Gossip column. It's more desirable. It is more desirable because we can address it at a later stage if we have to. But I would like to see it happen. And th- that right back needs to be a top quality one. And then I want to see Arsenal um, get maybe another winger as a desirable. Um, but the essentials is his most essential thing is the central midfield. Right, I would like to see both a DM to replace Partey and one to replace Shaka. Right, not to replace as competition. Right, because Xhaka at the minute he takes no responsibility for himself. Right, and his mistakes. Right, it's very clear he doesn't do that. Most of the time he doesn't. And then what he likes to do is then confront and like call out other people. He called out after the Arsenal squad that had done more for Arsenal. Like some of the kids, for example, he said, if you don't have the mentality to come up here, you should stay at home. Well, I'm sorry, mate. You play like crap as well, right? And half of those kids that you said haven't got the mentality, right, to come up here and play, right? And they didn't want to turn up, yeah. Them kids have done 10 times more than you've done in your whole freaking career at Arsenal. So I'd pipe down if I were you. But that's just me as an Arsenal fan. Well, on Xhaka. So I think getting someone in to give him competition, make him realise that he has to now start taking responsibility for himself if he wants to improve and keep his position. So I think he's just getting comfortable. He knows he's going to get picked every week, and that's the end of it. Partey, I try, even if Partey knows he's a starter every week, but getting someone there to compete with him is always good. Like um, a Tillemans or a Paqueta, which is why I didn't really want to go into West Ham if it's not going to happen. But yeah, that's what I really want to see. Neto would be a nice one as well because I don't think Ketia is good enough to replace Jesus. I don't care if he owns over £1,000 a week and gets a 14 shirt. He's not good enough to wear that shirt. I'm sorry. And if you can't find anyone good enough to wear that shirt, retire the number. That's what Chelsea did with Zola's number. So they should do the same. So because no one could beat Thierry Henry, like I said earlier. So, but that's probably me being biased because it was my kid growing up. That was my idol growing up. But like, so those are my things. But going on Arsenal, I'll give mine actually this time, and let Manny have his. I'll start with the ramming goal. Obviously, like I'm not expecting anything less. Turner's only going to get starts in games in maybe the Europa League or the League Cup or the FA Cup. Um, like I said before, those tournaments, apart from the Europa League, where you've got the option of getting into the Champions League by winning it, the other two cups, the FA Cup's always important to me. It's not for the long term success of Arsenal and where we want to go, which is winning the Premier League. We don't need to win the FA Cup. We need to win Champions League football. Either way, we need to get in it, top four or winning Europa League, right? Because if we can do that, then we're in the market. We've shown players that want to come to Arsenal that we're progressing forward, and that we are got ambition to go further by getting top quality players to then go and challenge Liverpool, Man City, the league, and that will improve pull in that market and be able to challenge the best teams to get the best players. So that's why we need to do it, especially after being out for so many years. But So Ram in goal. Ben White. I'll put Tommy Asu actually. I want Tommy Asu on the right. I think Tommy Asu's had a couple of introductions. I think he's now probably fit to maybe start for 70 minutes and then maybe bring Ben White on towards the end. I don't trust Ben White. I'm sorry. I don't care if I still don't trust the guy. Still don't like him. And that's a fact for me. Saliba, Gabriel, no change there. Zinchenko, locked down. Sorry, Tierney, but you made of glass. So, but he's definitely a very good option still, Tierney. Let's just put it away. If Zinchenko is out, I wouldn't be too worried about Tierney not coming in. But I do think Zinchenko edges it at the minute. Xhaka and then Partey, because those are the two best midfielders we've got that work together. El Neni is good to have if you've got loads of injuries or you're closing the game out or got suspensions, but he's not someone you can rely on. He can only do probably 7 out of 10, and that's it. On the right, I would go Saka. People need to lay off him. I think we don't have that balance on the right hand side with the overlapping runner that Martinelli enjoys with Zinchenko. Now you can see Martinelli's game is improving game by game because he's got Zinchenko there, which helps him with overlapping runs, right? Which is what Zinchenko does. Plus, also he's so good defensively. Martinelli doesn't have to worry too much coming backwards, right, and helping out defence. Whereas Saka has to keep coming back and helping Ben White out, right? Everyone's saying how good Ben White is, but he's got Saliba next to him, right, who's a tank. You're not going to get past him because he's one of the best. He's the best defender we've got by a mile, country mile. And you've got, and I actually go far as say Saliba in a minute is performing like one of the best defenders in the league at the minute, right? And that's after 3 games. Like, I mean, I rate him that much, and I don't like boasting my own players, but Saka, like, he doesn't get that luxury of freedom of having that solidarity at the back, so he has to come back and help with Ben White, and I think he's getting told that by the manager. So I think people just need to lay off him and just let him, like, realise that that's what's causing the problem, because there's a quality player there. He's top quality, and he can play well. When he gets his moments, he will score goals, right? And he'll cut inside and like contribute to goals. But it's hard, and he'll do that more than Pepe, but it's hard for him to do so because of that problem with the defensive side. So, but yeah, Odegaard. I give Odegaard this game because of his performance in the last game. If his performance was the same in the first 2 games, I would have started Emil Smith Rowe. But since he played well in the last game, I'd like to see him start this game and prove that he can do it again. If he doesn't do it again, right, and start doing it consistently, right, which is what my issue is with him, then I would start Emil Smith Rowe, right, because people keep going on about Odegaard, right, but he has 1 or 2 games where he's brilliant, but the rest of the games he goes bloody missing, and he's supposed to be our captain. Captains don't go missing. Like, even if they're not even touching the ball, you can hear them like shouting orders, commanding the defence, commanding the team on the pitch, and you don't hear that, man. You don't hear it. You don't hear it. I'm sorry, man. So yeah, for me it doesn't. Yeah, for me, Odegaard gets this one opportunity. And if he does the same what he did in the first 2 games, he gets dropped. Because I love Smith Rowe. Martinelli on the left, he's getting better game by game. Jesus up front. What else? We can't spend anything else. And then it's just, I think, with Arsenal, I think haven't we got games during the week this week as well? I believe. I think we're playing. Yeah, we're playing on Wednesday as well. So if we can just get a 2-0 by 60th minute, we can focus on trying to rest players, right, and rest of the Aston Villa game. If all things go well, that is. But yeah, sorry, like I'm saying, that's my team. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka in the middle, right on Saka, Odegaard behind the striker, Martinelli on the left, and then Jesus up front. Manny, what's yours?
I was just actually going to speak to Amelia about the formation against Brentford. It was a 4-2-3-1 formation. That's normally a formation that we would also play, where you'd have Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and I want to say probably Odegaard in the middle, and then Jesus on his own up front. But we're probably going to play a 4-4-2 to sort of counter that. I would think, because that's one of the flexibilities of the way Arteta plays. And especially if Fulham do end up with Mitrovic up front, then they're going to have to depend on the likes of the Cordova, Reed, and Stansfield and Pereira, really providing some good ballast for him to be able to get beyond that defence. So, decent lineup, but the problem with Tomiyasu coming back at right back, which is what I would love personally, is that I still don't have the biggest confidence over his fitness. If he's fit, if he's proven
Well,
his
he's had
fitness,
2 or 3 games to get fit. That's the thing.
and how was his performance in those few games? Do you think he was good?
Um, the time he's come on, he's been solid. The minutes he's been given when he's come on the pitch, he's been solid. But then either we have the game won or we like are in control at
Right.
at that stage. But when he's come on, it's not like we've lost a massive amount of talent on the right hand side, and with our right hand side's got exposed. So it must be meant if you're that side's quiet as defensively, it must mean he's doing a good job.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, I want to make sure that he will definitely, be fit, because I'd love to start him as well. But if there are still some doubts over him, yes, Ben White still cannot necessarily be trusted, but he has shown signs that he's willing to at least evolve. It will sadly mean that Saka's game will suffer. But until I can really have any confidence in Tomiyasu being able to, get back his fitness and really, play that sort of a high octane game that Arteta would want, I don't know if I can bring it back in. Having said that, if I were to start White, I definitely wouldn't mind bringing Tomiyasu on for a 30-minute workout. Take White off in the 60th minute after an hour and bring Tomiyasu on. Otherwise, the rest of the defence pick themselves as you were. And, I pity poor Saka because he's incorrigibly left-footed, but is being forced to now, try and work on his right foot to cross more effectively, and also have to come back. That's not his natural position, and you will know, Stephen, that Southgate plays him on the left, where he does really do well for England. There was a time, in fact, when he did so much better playing for England than for Arsenal, so it shouldn't really be rocket science, but it is what it is. And again, the centre of the midfield, if it would be a 4-4-2, you would have Odegaard and Partey right in the middle. Xhaka would obviously be on the left wing, would occupy that number 7 or number 11 role. And then Jesus and Martinelli up front. That would be the basic 4-4-2. If we do decide to go with a 4-2-3-1, it would probably be Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli just behind Jesus up front. But I don't believe Arteta would want to do that. And, when you have a situation where Fulham might only play one forward in Mitrovic, it might make more sense for Arteta to sort of pack that midfield a little bit, give it some more rigidity, and have some more firepower up front through Martinelli and Jesus. So, yeah. So the only change I'd make from your lineup, Stephen, is sticking with White, but definitely bringing Tomiyasu on after an hour. And at that time, I also wouldn't mind hooking off Zinchenko for Tierney.
Okay. yeah, if you guys want to put those lineups in the private chat first, I'll mark them down so you see what actually turns up and who's right, who's wrong. Because I'm just jotting down them all now.
I asked you the question as well. With obviously when Jesus signed for almost 50 million, what was your thoughts? And obviously he's had a cracking start to the season. Were you all for? Are you happy with the signing? Were you mixed views? A lot of money. What like I said, he's had a great start to the season. What are your
I was pleased but skeptical because he's only got over 20 goals twice in his career in a season. It's at Man City. So as much as he was Premier League proven and all that, um, I was worried. Let's put it that way. I was worried that he wouldn't perform and get the goals we needed, but he's proven me wrong with that. It wasn't that. It's not that he's proved me wrong. I just had some concerns, but like I was still pleased with the signing anyway because it is a top quality signing, no matter what you say. Right, he is top quality. So, especially the fact he's with the Premier League champions, who's helped him win so many trophies. Um, you know, so I was skeptical with the goals he would get, but he's doing bits all so far, so I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Manny, what do you think?
Me, I'm happy now. And when we signed him, like you, I had that level of skepticism. But one thing in his favour was his record in European competition, especially in the Champions League. I believe he scored about 20 goals for them in 5 seasons, which is not a bad return at all. The only issue is that he wasn't as prolific a striker as I would have liked. And there was a part of me that was actually thinking, and please don't laugh at me, I was thinking of getting someone like Morata in because Jesus didn't even have a good
What?
record. I
No.
said, please, yeah. Hear me out.
No.
Stephen, that's not fair. Hear me out.
Come on, are you joking?
Come
Come on, man. Yeah, go on, explain this one.
I will explain myself. Let me explain myself, and then
You're gonna have to on this one, mate.
Of course I will. That's what I'm going to do.
Don't worry, I'm listening.
Jesus
I might be writing this down, but I am listening.
Yeah, I know you're listening, so please don't interrupt me. Yeah, Jesus wasn't even prolific for the Brazilian national team either. Whereas when you have someone like Morata with a record of a goal every 2 games for Spain, which is more or less the benchmark for a top quality striker, you sort of think, there's nothing too bad about him. And there were a lot of people who thought that he could be an improvement on Alex Lacazette, sort of playing off the main striker, improving the link-up play. And yes, he didn't do too well at Chelsea, but maybe at Arsenal he would have loved a new challenge. Of course, he ended up saying that he wouldn't even want to come back to the Premiership no matter how much he'd be paid. And now he's back at Atletico doing as well as he can. I think he scored 2 on the opening weekend anyway. But anyway, we got Jesus. I supported him, and he's vindicated his decision to come. He's vindicated the decision to buy him, and it's been great so far. And long may it continue. Jesus Gabriel, the superstar, if you will.
Exactly.
A little reference to the Andrew.
I don't care. Like, big up Jez, man. I hope you're doing well. Jez, if you're free now, right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat to you now, mate. If you're free now, I'm putting it just for Jez to come on. Like, Jez, when I put that donation, I know you told me not to. Please don't send it back. Don't send it back, mate. I wanted to do that, right? Because, like I've said throughout today, you're my friend, right? And great. Sorry, I need a drink. Sorry. And you're a dear friend of the channel, so I wanted to put that donation in, right? So as much as you said not me to, that's what I wanted to do. So please, honest to God, don't worry about sending it back. Please don't. I wanted to do that. And like I said, look, you get support already, mate. As soon as you walk through the door. So yeah, big up to you. But the link's there, mate. If you want to come on and have your say before we wrap up, mate, you're more than welcome to. We got about another 5-10 minutes. You're more than welcome to come on for that time. So yeah, I mean, Jay's like I said, Jesus, he's proven this, and this is what I'm saying about our players. I don't mind who it is, as long as they prove us wrong. As long as they prove us wrong, I'm not fussed. Um, Big up, Luke. Luke, man, like, what's happened, bro? Mate, are you trying to copycat what we did last season, bro? Like, like, come on, man. I thought Man United was supposed to be the laughing stocks. Like, come on. They get smashed by Brentford, and then all of a sudden they end up above you. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, to be fair, like I said earlier, mate, if someone told me we were 7 points clear, like 7 points clear in the start of the season of Liverpool, I would have probably said, "What you smoking? You're probably smoking something funny." Milner, but then again, if Fulham was probably like 2 points, no, 3 points ahead of them, then you're probably thinking, "What are you smoking?" If you know what I mean. Like Milner and Henson Lightning games. There's your answer. Oh, here we go. Mate, look, come on. No one gave. No one let us have the injury or COVID excuse, right? Come on. No, well, no, the injury. Not. Did we have COVID at the start of the season? I don't know, but yeah, no one had a got like, no one gave us that excuse at the start of the season of injuries. Like, come on, man. You've got Jurgen Klopp, right? And you were playing a Man United side that couldn't even beat Brentford, for fuck's sake. Come on, like, and you played Brentford. Now who else you played? You played Crystal Palace, and you played who else did they play? Fulham. Sorry, yeah, you played Fulham and Crystal Palace, mate. Come on, come on, like. Like, we played Leicester in 2018, 9 players that started against Man United last night. Too much law. It was always gonna take its toll. First team, what is Klopp doing? Mate, he was blaming the fact that you needed more time. He's um like we need, like, if we had another 10 minutes we would have won the game. Well, you need to do it in 90, mate. You can't do it in 100. Like, unless you get 10 minutes added on stoppage time, like, you can't do it in 100 minutes. Like, this ain't like a World Cup game. Like, what you on about? The kick, mate. Klopp. I love, like, Klopp's a great manager, but when he loses, he don't come up with some weird shit. He does come up with some weird excuses. Like, I'm sorry. Uh, yeah. Pep brought out his book. Brought out his book Intensity. There is more intensity in the book than the team right now. Yeah, it's going to be a long season, mate. Top 4 race. Big up to you, mate. I'm on my honeymoon right now. Yeah, man. I heard you got married, mate. You said you were getting married, so congrats to you and the missus. She's very lucky, right? Even if even if you are a Liverpool fan. Right. But yeah. Congrats to you and your missus, and hope you're having a good time. You didn't have that, and in fact, like, what you doing tuning in to my channel whilst you're on honeymoon? Right? If she fucking saw this show, mate, Right, trust me, she'll be doing divorce proceedings before you even get the flight back. Like, you know what I mean, bro? Like, be careful, be careful. Like, bloody Chelsea fan she is. Oh yeah, you're probably getting stick then. Happy married life. Yeah, Manny, Manny. They say it's happy and it lasts about 10 minutes. No, I'm sure they're having the time of their lives. Like, fair play to them.
Exactly. I mean, look, there are more important things in a marriage than the football teams you support. I've got close friends who live back in Ebbsfleet in Kent. The wife's a Chelsea fan, husband's an Arsenal fan, only son's a Tottenham fan. Go figure.
Exactly. But yeah. Finally, your score prediction, guys, before we wrap up. Everyone, please put their score predictions in if you have not already. Uh, Manny, what are you gonna go?
I'm going to go with the same prediction I made for the Bournemouth game, which is a 3-1 Arsenal win. Once again, we should be able to get the measure of Fulham's defence, experienced and battle-scarred as it is. We'll definitely score quite a few. I know that Leno will make a few saves, but unfortunately he's also going to be beaten 3 times. I don't see Ramsdale keeping a clean sheet, though, against that Fulham attack, which will certainly have its moments of clinicality, if you will. So, yeah, 3-1. We'll concede goals at times, but we will also score a lot more. So, 3-1 to the Gunners. Sorry,
Okay, 3-1 to the Arsenal. Emilio, what are you going with, man?
There's a realistic scoreline and then there's a hopeful scoreline. So I think realistically we'll lose. I think
Go
as
for the
long as we
realistic
don't
one.
realistic
Or
one.
unless you're
Realistic one.
really confident about the hopeful one.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think hopeful. I think we will score. I think we will go there to them and we will score
Okay.
a goal. If we can keep it tight, there's a slight possibility we might snatch a 1-1 draw. But realistically, I think I think you'll have too much in the tank. As long as we can keep it tight, not get out fought like Bournemouth were the weekend, be in the game and give ourselves a chance. And I'd be happy with that. The Brighton game is more important on Tuesday. I know every game is important, but there's a more winnable game against Brighton on Tuesday, which we need to be focusing on. So give it your best shot, guys. Don't be ashamed. Don't get annihilated. Give Arsenal some problems. Score a goal, and you never know. We're capable of scoring goals and getting a lot of set pieces. Our corner tally this season has been very good. We're causing problems in the 6-yard box. We're getting penalties deservedly so. So that will also be maybe a tactic of us get into that box, cause your defence some problems, and commit some fouls. Because you never know. With the VAR, it will help us, to be honest. But equally, with your pace up front, you're going to upset our defence. So it's going to. I think there'll be goals in this game. Put it that way.
Yeah. So your prediction would be the hopeful one, 1-1, or
I'm gonna go 1-1. I've got to go 1-1 with my heart, but realistically, it's probably going to be a 2-1.
all right. Yeah, I'll go on then. I'll keep you on. Do you know what? I even put hopeful / heart. Yeah. So people know you're not like it's like we should put like also / biased because it is a little bit. Like, there you go. I'm gonna go for. I think I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win. To be fair, I do have fully confidence we'll be able to rise to the challenge of Mitrovic. Um, yeah, I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna go 2-1, and I'll tell you why. Right, I think we'll go 2-0 up. We'll have control of the game. He'll make subs, which weaken our either midfield or defence, which will lead you to create opportunities. You'll nick one right at the end, and we'll just have to hold out for like the last 5 minutes or something like that. Right? Because I think 2-0 would be too harsh for you guys. Like, to be honest, with the attack you've got, Nah, nah. Do you know what? I do, because here's the thing. It feels like I'm saying I'm not trusting my defence, and to be fair, with Gabriel and Saliba there, I do trust our defence. So I'm going to go 2-0.
And you've picked Tomiyasu, so you're taking a huge gamble on his fitness there, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but I'm willing to take that gamble. But I do think like with Saliba there, Saliba can help him with that, like he's done with White, Ben White. So there we go. Um, would join me, but just on a stream. Okay, just give us quickly your prediction before you go. Because obviously I completely understand the fact that just done a streaming league, Kenny, and also yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course, mate. I understand, mate. Like, and the fact that like you're still doing, you immediately coming back on and doing streams is an absolute testament to you, mate. So, um, yeah, man, yeah. 4-0 Arsenal. Fucking hell, he's going. There you go. Like, Jez fully confident we'll get the win. Then, um, hopefully to see a good display. Could have put uh, Jez 4-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah. Um, yeah, absolutely, mate. I couldn't say that about myself, Manny. But yeah, take it easy, mate. And like I said, Jez, like you ever need us for anything, even if you want to call, like no matter what time it is, you know I'm awake most of the night anyways. So like you need to talk anytime, just give us a shout, mate. So, but yeah, yeah. So I think that is everyone with their score predictions. To be fair, let me just check, see I haven't missed any. Um, no, I haven't seen any. Missed any. So there you go. We're gonna leave it there, guys. I'm gonna wrap up. But yeah, that's a wrap, people. Um, thanks for everyone that's tuned in as well. Uh, but yeah, Emilio, where can they find you? First of all, thanks for coming on. And where can they find you?
There's my private one is Teddy Nellope, so that's my private one, and then the podcast is Cottage Talk for all our fans. So do follow us, do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and yeah, look, hopefully we'll have a good, entertaining game on Saturday. May the best team win.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm sure it's gonna be a great game to watch. I think it'll be a good game to watch, a good tactical game as well. To be fair, Manny, where can they find you, man?
As usual, you can find me on Twitter, Thungathero1981. You can find me on Instagram at MannyThungathero1981. And you can find me on YouTube on a few channels like Del Boy Gunner TV, Stephen Featley TV, Horace Talks Football, a few appearances on Hanno's Coach Corner, and also on the Football for Thought podcast with Nipun Sharma, NS Sports TV. I just go where I feel welcome, say my piece, and just let the chips fall where they may. And Amelia, I've just subscribed to your channel. It is Cottage Talk, yes?
It is Cottage Talk, yes. Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to Cottage Talk, man. Good stuff on that channel. And if you are a Fulham fan, right, then go over there and head them and give them a sub. And even if you're not, like help. Let's just help support any upcoming YouTubers by hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a damn thing. So make sure you do put those donations in. So
thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we will leave it there. To be fair, but yeah, like I said, make sure you hit the like, you hit the subscribe, you hit the share button, and we will see you guys later on tomorrow. We will be live tomorrow with a review show to last weekend's games. The EPL prediction show will be how am I supposed to do this? Right. There's the draw tomorrow. Right, so the Champions League draw is 4 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll be live doing that since we're now in Europe again. So it'll be nice to see who's in the groups, even to see who might get dropped down. We're live at 4 p.m. with that. Then 7 p.m. I'm planning to do the EPL review show that we missed on Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, sorry. And then the review show we're doing on and then the prediction show we're doing straight after that for Matchday 4. So yeah, if you haven't, if you're new to the channel, you want to come on any of those shows, which are all general content, then hit us up by DMing us at SFeatley or at the channel's Twitter, SFeatleyTV, or on Instagram at SFeatley. Yeah, until then, make sure you hit, like I said, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care. See you tomorrow.